Water conservation is no longer a drop in the bucket, it's a sea of change. Small adjustments like changing the way we garden can make a huge splash when we work together. Here to tell us how urban and suburban dwellers can ride the tide of sustainability are Dr. June Bando, Executive Director of the California Native Plant Society. Along with landscape architect, we have Kate Hayes of the Sacramento-based organization Miraday. Welcome to the both of you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for having us.
Yeah, we're happy to have you on. So water scarcity is a pressing issue. Can you start by telling us what native plants are? How can gardening with them or other water-wise plants help to save water?
Absolutely. A native plant, a California native plant, is simply a plant that is originally from California. So these incredible plants have evolved with our landscape over time and are uniquely suited for our climate.
And just to jump in, Save Our Water is looking to help residents make water conservation a way of life. And these California native plants are a really important piece to that puzzle.
Yeah, we want to have our plants looking good. And I mean, water conservation for some, sometimes for me, it can sound like a tough nut to crack, but the garden you ladies are standing in, it looks so lush. How can we go from throwing water down the drain with a traditional garden to creating a water-friendly oasis like the one you have there?
Yeah, really great question. Native gardens can be lush and green and beautiful and textured, just like you said, the one behind us. I like to say start small. So really start with a sunny patch in your yard or your entryway or a path you take on a daily basis and just start experimenting. There are a couple great resources, websites like bloomcalifornia.org and calscape.org, where you can type in your exact address and it will give you a list of native plant species specific to your area.
All right, all helpful tips, especially as our plants are in bloom and we want to make sure we're watering them properly. So for people ready to go with the flow, I got to throw in those water puns for you ladies. What tips do you have for starting out?
Sure, so a water-wise native plant garden is usually pretty low maintenance, but I have 3 key tips I usually share to help people get started. The first is to plant ahead of the rainy season, but plan now. The best time to plant is going to be late fall or early winter, so you should be thinking now about what you want to plant and where. The second is to choose the right plants for your yard, and using the tools that Kate just mentioned, bloomcalifornia.org or calscape.org, you can quickly identify the right plants for your location and build a custom list that meets your criteria and what's likely to do well. And the third tip is to aim for a mix of plant types and hardscaping, just as you would a more conventional landscape. So think about shrubs and sculptural plants for year-round interest. Annual wildflowers can add fun color and fragrance, and trees add both shade and habitat. And that habitat piece is really key when we think about native plant gardens. They can be a lifeline for birds, butterflies, and other pollinators.
Oh, I didn't know that. And for those on a tight budget, how can they get more bang for their water-friendly buck?
Yeah, first piece of advice is visit your local water agency's website. Not sure who they are? Look at your water bill. They offer really great, generous rebate programs to help offset the cost of your lawn to native plant garden transformation. They even go into specifics such as specifying irrigation devices and controllers and help to offset those costs. We also recommend reaching out if you want a little more hand-holding to a landscape architect or a landscape contractor. They can really help guide you and lead your landscape to success. And a lot of these water rebate programs even offer landscape design assistance programs to help cover the consultation costs of these designers.
All right, Kate Hayes and Dr. June Bando, thank you so much for joining us this morning. And you can find out about native plants unique to California by going to bloomcalifornia.org. And you can learn about California native plants for every garden style by going to calscape.org. Plus, be part of the sea of change by going to saveourwater.com.